So hello everyone, once again for this week AMA. For this session, we just have a discussion open, and if you have any questions or anything that you want to know, just ask that in the chat. Um, this week we don't well as we don't have any specific topic, we are hopefully we'll just going to discuss some of the things that are happening, especially with DAOs this week. So uh, on that note, I have two things that I will want to ask, or well, not ask, but just throw in the table. Like we have seen some DAOs lately, like trying to interact between each other, specifically with their native tokens. So yeah, I will want to hear more about that. I don't know if Philip can help us with that a little bit.
Yeah, so to say, we recently came to the 2-month anniversary of launching BrightDAO, and one of the things that we'd funded upfront when launching was some liquidity pools, so that people that were paid in Bright had the opportunity to turn it into rent money if that's what they needed, and that was reasonably successful, and just recently came to an end, and we need to, as a DAO, make decisions on how to go forward. There are various discussions on that, and one of the discussion topics that has come up in the last few days is the possibility of, instead of doing traditional farming rewards, instead we simply get other DAOs to put up liquidity against Bright token with their own token. So that's now been proposed in BrightDAO with Honey. They did a mechanic like that with Fox token, and I think this is something that I absolutely think we should look into. Maybe I'm missing some part of the math, but to me it seems dramatically better than incentivizing farming rewards, because there's no one to dump. Some farmers are in it for the long run, but some are insta dumping. If we do it with an aligned DAO like OneHive, both DAOs are benefiting each other. We could make commitments to each other of how long we would hold those positions for, and including possibly forever. Wise DAO, not Wise DAO, but the Wise token, they bootstrap their liquidity by burning the LP position. I'm not necessarily suggesting that we do that, but that's a really interesting thing they did, and there's tons and tons of liquidity for that position, and it will never go away because no one has any control over it.
Jesus. So like yeah, this week I've seen more people, especially in Twitter, discussing the probably now the well, I joined this DAO that wants to buy one copy of the Constitution, and it's
Me
pretty
too.
interesting because I'm not even an American citizen, so and being part of this like seems a little bit historic for me. For the space right now, and probably is going to wake up more people around this specific topic of DAOs and probably the importance that is going to have in the future. So I don't know if you want to well talk a little bit more about that one, because I actually well bought it before I saw some of your tweets, but yeah, after that, well, I just like what can I say? Like, yeah, I'm happy that I joined.
Yeah, so anyone that has been living under a Twitter rock and doesn't know, so one of the original copies of the US Constitution is going to be auctioned off tonight. I think it's Sotheby's. So originally, the Constitution was signed. Delegates all came from all over the country. They spent months doing it. There's an official signed version that exists. I think it's the Library of Congress, maybe the House, maybe at Congress itself. But there were 500 copies printed and sent home with all the delegates so that they could share it with people back in their states. 13 of those still exist, and one of those is going to be auctioned. And a DAO has spun up, Constitution DAO, to hopefully purchase it. At last I looked, they'd raised over $30 million in the last couple of days, most of that in the last 24 hours. It is very likely that they have enough to buy this thing. And I think it's fascinating. It's going to be a fascinating way for a lot of the world to wake up to the ability of these new coordination tools that we have to impact the real world. It's it's one thing when they're buying NFTs because that's like endemic to itself, but this is the real world, and here we are interacting with it. It was Pleaser DAO recently bought the Wu-Tang album, which was awesome, but this is going to hit harder. I think that this is really going to hit the news because it's fun and it's weird, and the media is just going to sort of eat it up. So great. Your parents are all going to hear about DAOs and DAOs doing stuff in the real world. It's going to add to the interest of DAOs. Who knows what they're going to do next? Now that we've seen you can do this, now people are saying, oh, we want to buy SeaWorld. We want to buy huge tracts of land. I know that one of the reasons Adam created BrightID in the first place was the desire, what if we bought huge tracts of land and then used the community to figure out what we should do with it and reward everybody for the benefits that come out of that? So DAOs are coming, but DAOs need uniqueness in them to be as strong as they can be. Constitution DAO has no idea how many individual people are actually part of it. They can count Ethereum addresses, but all of us here know that by no means is that a count of people. So it would be more powerful if they could tell. Just one example.
Cool. So I don't know if anyone has wants to join in a little bit and talk about this. Like if you have something to add. If not, yeah. Well, I'm just going to welcome the people that I just joined. Hello, thanks for being here. If you have any questions related with BrightID, please ask them in the chat, or if you have any specific topic that you want to talk about, just let us know. Well, I have seen a little bit of discussions in the Discord about changing some of the rewards BrightIDs, doing with the liquidity mining, especially in XTI. So I don't know if we can chat about that a little bit more. So we are going to, actually the honey bright reward liquidity. Sorry, like my tongue is just so I know it's going to get removed.
The farming rewards.
The farming rewards, yeah, thank you. And we're going to just because there was a proposal to do it with stake, the token from XDAI governance. So yeah, like I will want to hear a little bit about that, and we'll have a little bit of discussion around that topic.
I'll just clarify real quick what happened with that pool is it was originally funded specifically for 60 days. Those 60 days have come and gone, so it just sort of naturally ended. It could be renewed, and the DAO would be welcome to choose to do that. It just hasn't chosen to do that, and I expect that there are better, more efficient uses of the DAO's capital. It was very beneficial to One Hive and Honey for us to do that because they also want liquidity to exist for their token. And we've now seen opportunities like we've have with Stake and like we have with Elk, where they're also putting up rewards. So I don't see any reason why it shouldn't be a collaboration between both sides since both sides benefit. So I think we're much more likely to see those two-sided beneficial rewards in the future rather than just BrightDAO subsidizing it.
Okay, cool. So yeah, like if you are one of those person that it's or think that things should be different, just go through the forum of BrightDAO and just put your thoughts there and move it to voting. So yeah, if for some reason people vote for it, it's going to happen. But yeah, think about that. Well, that's the thing about having a DAO. So you just can, or even throw it to voting, or just we'll open up a discussion uh, in our forums. So okay, moving from that. So I don't know if anyone else has anything or has any question related to BrightID. It doesn't look like. I don't know what other thing we can just talk about now. So I don't know if anyone has any ideas. I'm really out of ideas now. I don't know. I've been just uh, seeing the charts a little bit, so I'm a little bit down. Probably like anyone else that likes to see the charts of the Bitcoin price and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah. That's not my focus. So another thing I'll bring up because it's come up in two different discussions in the last 24 hours is about adding new seed groups and how that process works. I will note that we're hoping to meaningfully change and improve this process in the near future, but as of now, the way it works today is worth clarifying. So we all have sort of communal understanding. So seed group power in how the current graph analysis works is granted by what we call seed DAO. It's an Aragon DAO running on ID chain. A number of people are members. I'm one of them. A bunch of those folks are in B main. Some of them are not. I think the list is public. I don't see any reason it wouldn't be.
Yeah, the list is public and anyone can join Seed DAO if they're part of an existing seed group. You can apply. But one thing we've discovered in working in DAOs over the years is not everyone. Okay, so people like to be a part of things, but when it comes to boring stuff like voting about other seed groups and stuff like that, you don't get like everyone rushing in to volunteer. So it's still a pretty small group.
Yeah. So what happens is a group that wanted to join, there is a Google Doc that they can fill out with some basic information about the project, the people that would be the administrators of this group, where the public could find them, where we could find them. And then they need to get someone in the seed DAO to sort of meet with them and vouch for them and put it up for a vote. Other members vote for it, including asking for a specific quota. This is sort of the number of new BrightID users that seed group could help get verified. We generally start that number off at a modest number, watch how things go, and then assuming everything looks good, it's very easy to add additional seed quota. It's also one reason seed members need to pay attention, because sometimes our seed groups, even the very successful ones, use up their quota and we need to recharge them before they run out because seed power is not retroactive. You need to have it at the time of connection for it to work. So it's important to stay on top of that. One thing I think that we could do better on, and I think we will do better in the future, is knowing like why we think this seed group is going to be good. Good actors. We can't just let anyone in. Someone recently applied to the seed DAO and the proposal looks fine and they may be great. I've had no interaction with them. But on the Graph Explorer, they have one connection to the graph. And from my standpoint as a voter in seed DAO, that's not good enough. They would need to have a champion, someone that met people, feels good about it. The last seed DAO that I proposed to vote for was for Aragon, and I met about 20 of them and had a bunch of conversations with the sort of the folks that were initially setting it up, and I felt very comfortable with them. But someone with one connection in BrightID, I don't know that that's who should be a seed.
Yeah, really, really good point. I'll give that feedback to the applicant that they need to start making some more connections. And then also, of course, you want to. So they did provide a link to their Discord, so you can go and visit them and see where they're making connections. But if they're not even making connections, yeah, what's the point of having a seed group. The point of them listing where you can find them and having like a publicly available place for connection to be made. First of all, that's where the connection, I mean, that's why you have a seed group, because you want people to come and connect to you and get verified. But it needs to be public so that like CDAV members can come drop in and make sure things are happening correctly, make sure that it's not just a front or something like that, that this really is a public place where you can come and make BrightID connections. So yeah, I already, in their form, they put their Discord link. I shared that, encourage people to go check it out. But yeah, I had not looked at the graph. If they haven't even gotten started doing that, then I think, yeah, we can wait until they get ramped up a little bit and actually start connecting to people.
Cool. So yeah. Well, then moving, we have okay. Well, we had a question, but I think right now I got answered in the same chat. Yeah, it was about the new farm that is going to pop up. That is Bright Steak. As I told you, like I think 2 days ago, there was a vote to incentivize this farm. As right now, and well, Xtide, I don't know if it's Xtide DAO or how they're called. They put up a proposal to provide liquidity to this pair Bright Stake. They're putting, as Philip said a couple of minutes ago, it's going to be incentivized both ways. So yeah, it's going to be in our fair drop uh, farm page. So you can just see in our Discord, or well, directly in brightid.org. You just go to the fair drop site and you're going to see the farms. So when it's going to start, I don't know yet. It's really going to be really soon. We don't have any specific date, so stay tuned. It's going to be really, really soon. So
yeah, I'll also point out that the Uni V3
oh, cool.
Bright Farm will also be going. It turns out that there's some significant technical challenges and weird things about how the Uni V3 farming contracts work. So devs are working really hard and trying to be creative in finding solutions that will make it easy for users, because from a contract it is not simple. So those would be live if it were easy, but it's not easy. So it's going to be delayed, but that should go back soon. It appears that liquidity has really not changed since those liquidity rewards ran out. I know some of those liquidity providers, so are a little bit more long-term focused and know that it's coming, and they don't want to spend all the gas to change, take things out. They're there for the long term. Hopefully, they will continue to do it that way while we get this figured out. But we do expect those to start flowing soon.
Perfect. So right now we are seeing a interesting influx of people joining the different calls, and yeah, well, it looks like the latest uh, well, news, no, that will be question rabbit hole is driving a lot of people to BrightID. So that's really, really interesting to see. So I don't know if Curly has something to say about that. Like, have you seen an influx of people joining Rabbit Hole as well? I don't know if it's here listening or just, yeah, I don't know if he can hear me.
Hey, yeah, so I'm here. I'm just kind of
Yeah,
listening in today. Yeah, so we launched a new quest on Cello, which has got people very interested. There's been a lot of demand to have quests on different blockchains. So this is one of those that that people are getting really interested in. And so yeah, it's just great to see the project expanding and getting more attention across different new blockchains. And as a result, it does bring new folks to BrightID. So it's a good synergy there.
I love seeing the growth. Curly, do you know how many people are in this quest, or like how many rewards are in quests recently, and like what rabbit hole's going for?
A good question. I don't know the specific numbers on this one off the top of my head, but it normally shows on the quest page. But we had extreme overwhelming demand for this one, so it's actually been it's actually not on the site anymore, like right now.
Yeah, I saw that crashed your servers.
Yeah.
It's like it's annoying, but kind of a good problem to have as long as you figure out how to fix it. Don't be like Coinbase that gets, wrecked over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Eventually it stops being a good problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited for Rabbit Hole. And, when I describe BrightID, it's sort of become my go-to example of a great thing that can be enabled when you have this, and that breaks if you don't have something like this. I'm glad that BrightID wouldn't have to be BrightID, but you need something, or the bad guys will just pour in and extract everything that they can.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So can you give us, like, I don't know, like a little hint if you're going to have something interesting in the future?
Oh, we always got something interesting in the future. Yeah, like if you've been following the project, we're on a path to decentralization, which you can take that for what it is. It's not a short path, and it's not an easy path. Rabbit Hole is a corporation, but we also have decentralized aspects of community members that have come together to push the project forward and contribute. So it's an interesting transition. So keep an eye on that. And if Rabbit Hole is something that you have received value from and you want to continue seeing value being put out through Rabbit Hole, then you can also be a part of that by contributing. And so, yeah, come join us in our Discord, and we got a whole bunch of new cool ways to interact coming up. We have a podcast starting. We actually did a Twitter space just yesterday on the topic of Constitution DAO, and so that was recorded. I'm not sure where it is posted or if it's posted yet, but highly suggest checking that out if you're interested in hearing. There's members of Constitution DAO there talking about the project, as well as some folks that brought up some very poignant issues about Constitution DAO. So it was a very engaging, informative conversation. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, there's it's kind of like a meandering answer of like there's lots going on, lots of new information and projects coming out of Rabbit Hole and kind of spreading out its footprint across the Web3 space. If you're interested in getting more involved, I highly suggest coming to the Discord and just chatting with us and figuring out where you can kind of fit in.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Jorin. For me specifically, like, even if I have been some of an avid user of Web3 somehow, like exploring every single quest in BrightID has been, for me specifically, really interesting. Even though I have to pay high fees in Ethereum when there's some quest in Ethereum, it's been worth. Just like I set it up, my ENS, just because, well, there was a quest in Rabbit Hole for that specific topic. So I'm really grateful for them. Well, BrightID as well, because it was, I had to do it. Well, being part of BrightID, I have to try to explore every single thing that pops up that uses it. And yeah, like everyone is really invited to join. It's really interesting, and try to do all the quests that you don't know what type of value you're going to find there in the future. So like moving a little bit forward, I don't know, like I'm a little bit eager to, I don't know if there's any leak that Aaron can give us about any specific project that is coming in the future. If there isn't, there's no problem. I would love to know if there's something we what we could just wait for. If there isn't, well, there's no problem. But I would love to know if there's something you can talk about.
Like upcoming features for BrightID.
No, upcoming projects that are going to
Oh,
integrate
upcoming
BrightID.
projects.
If there isn't, no problem. Okay, just want to, I
Yes,
just trying to question it here.
there's lots, but it's like I think the most exciting one that's like moving forward the fastest is probably Aura. So I don't know if I'm the best one to talk about Aura. I mean, I could talk about Aura all day, but that's, I mean, that's a really interesting one. There's
And one we've covered a lot in these calls, given that
Yep.
it's, still largely vaporware. I'll also, there's a couple different DAOs that are getting more serious about using BrightID. I'm super excited about that. I think there's so much opportunity in that direction, and we're going to see way more DAOs. So one that has committed to using BrightID, they're not actually ready to do it yet, but they're committed to doing it is Songa DAO. So the Song a Day guy, John, a really talented guy. Totally recommend following him on Twitter. I'll drop the link in the chat. But he does great songs every day. He's been doing that for, I don't know, 12 years or something. And he's sort of decentralizing his effort, his life's work into a DAO. And all you have to do is sort of own a piece of his catalog to be a part of it. Some people own multiple, but everyone only gets one vote, including him. So BrightID is going to be an essential part of that. And I'm really excited because partly a lot of his fan base is people that are deep into Ethereum and NFTs and coordination and good vibes. So I think it's a great beachhead that'll help us get into lots of other DAOs, even though at the beginning I expect that to be a modest size DAO. I think it's the other DAOs that will be adjacent to it will be many.
Cool. Okay, so we are seeing, well, a conversation here. I don't know if you guys want to, we'll take this conversation here to the main stage. There's a couple of, of chats here. Like, I don't know if you guys want to talk about this here in the main channel. No, nothing. Why? Come on, just throw it here so we can have a chat. Like, you guys are having an interesting, well, discussion in the chat, in the side chat. So no, my God, just don't leave me hanging. Okay, now, so one of the topics we have discussed in some of our, well, meetings is having probably the possibility to have a way to showcase more variety to different communities, specifically the NFT one. It's probably having an NFT drop using BrightID. Like, you have to be verified, and with that, well, you get the chance or the opportunity to mint one NFT from an artist. So like, I will just want to leave it there, and probably we'll talk with Philip with some idea that we might have about that. And well, I would like to take this chance to go to the community about it. Like, what do you guys think? Like, okay, so on that specific topic, I have an idea with that is, well, having or BrightID to mint one NFT. Okay, you have to be a user or use a curve for it. Like the first one you get is for super cheap or even free, and the next one will have a value. So I don't know. Well, Phil, you can just will help me out here, and we'll probably discuss a little bit about this and maybe a couple of ideas around it.
I also saw Mark unmute, and I want to know what he wanted to say.
Yeah, I mean, he already kind of touched on it. I was just saying, I think that, um, I think a lot of people that are just getting started with NFTs and blockchain and cryptocurrencies and whatnot, there can be a high bar to getting into it, especially for things that, are on Ethereum, which is kind of where people tend to start because that's, the big player. I know with the side chains, it's becoming more affordable for people, but I would say that, yeah, if there's an NFT drop or something like that, it would be important to, kind of reward the people that took the time to become verified, have participated, but, maybe don't have the actual funds to actually, maybe pay for a mint or, making sure that it's very affordable, either using a side chain or something like that, because I think, especially just with the gas prices, it's been almost impossible for a lot of people to even get started.
Yeah, I'll try to use, like right now we have two solutions that are like we'll use Ethereum as its base. They will be EMX, immutable X platform, or even CK Sync, like NFT platform. They're just doing. If we want to go with free mints, because yeah, it will be impossible for BrightID paying people to mint in specifically in Ethereum. It's a little bit too expensive.
But it's
Uh,
tricky. I've not seen much value accrete to NFTs outside of Ethereum. I guess some on the on Tezos, but other than
yeah.
that, I've not really seen NFT activity elsewhere. So we could certainly have pretty pictures and a large community, but
I would say, to me, some of the value though is that, the people that get involved first, can be rewarded. Maybe today they don't have much value because they're on the side chain, but letting the users know, hey, if you hold on to this for a while, this may actually have some value as these side chains become more popular. Because I mean, Vitalik basically even said that's kind of the future of scaling Ethereum is the side chains for so many things, and using the Ethereum really just for verification and that type of stuff, not actually being using Ethereum for all these things that we're currently using it for.
yeah.
Well,
Like
I
10
will.
years from now, we're going to look back and be like, you did what on L1? Like that will be absurd.
Exactly.
And it's also going to mean a bunch of things get abandoned there because it's like, well, I got my crappy little NFT that used to be worth, 0.01 ETH, but it would cost more than that to move it. Nobody's going to, it's just going to be stuck because it won't be worth the gas to do anything.
And I see a little bit of chat discussion in the chat of even having like a Pope or something, a POAP. Again, maybe just kind of saying generation 1, generation 2, that type of stuff to kind of let people know, kind of where they join the game, basically. I think would have value down the road, kind of reinforcing to users that, hey, this is free. Don't expect it to make you rich, but, hold on to it for a while and maybe it will someday, or, even just being able to say, hey, I was here at the beginning, that is worth something, even if nothing else, just in your, your reputation.
Well, there's another platform that is having a lot of traction with NFTs. It's Wax. There's a lot of different things that have been like since probably 1 or 2 years. They've been doing a lot of stuff and it's having a lot of value. I haven't gone really that deep into that platform, but I have seen plenty community just leveraging NFTs there and some gaming NFTs as well. Well, I'm seeing in the chat as well, POAPs being on XDAI. Well, probably I have seen some sales, and they usually are migrated to main chain. So it- for I think one specific POAP that I saw being sold a little bit too expensive, one from this platform called Fractionalized. I don't know if that's correctly pronounced, in which you put an NFT and you fractionalize it in tokens, and you can just sell the tokens, and everyone can be a part of that or have an ownership of that specific NFT. Because some people are thinking, well, they're probably going to have an airdrop in the future for that specific platform. So that specific POAP has been, well, traded expensive. But yeah, all of them have been migrated to mainnet. Um, I think a little bit more curious about Ethereum. So that's why I'm saying I'm talking about rollups using specifically, well, Ethereum security for that. So I'll think we're going to see more of them or the different NFTs just using this L2 platforms more than side chains. But yeah, I might be wrong. I don't know if that's the case. So yeah,
And fortunately, BrightID can play with all of them. It's
yeah.
blockchain agnostic, so it'll work just as well for XDAI as Ethereum, as Arbitrum, as Wax, as Binance Smart Chain, like as your centralized Web2 service. BrightID does not care, and that one social graph that you make with your BrightID and get you validated works across all of those systems. Not that we have integrations on all those systems, but they could integrate. It's not any.
Yeah, we have integrations right now on XDAI chain, obviously, mainnet, Arbitrum, and like you said, kind of legacy Web2 stuff.
What's someone doing on Arbitrum?
ClearFund.
Is on Arbitrum? I didn't know that.
Yep.
Right
now it's Arbitrum testnet, but the next round's gonna be an Arbitrum.
Next round. Oh wow.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
All right, and they're still calculating the last round, right? On XDAI.
I
I'm pretty sure I just read
you have
that.
to ask them about that.
Yeah, no, I just checked on the Telegram the other day. Someone asked like, "Hey, can I donate?" And Aram was like, "You can donate to the matching pool because we're in the middle of calculation," which I didn't know that they could do that, but apparently
Yeah, calculation can take a long time with Mesa. So
yeah, well, right, and they'd like massively up the limit of contributors. Yeah, and so it'll be interesting to see how that goes, and excited to see what they can do on L2.
Cool. So that's awesome. That's news for us as well. So thank you very much. On this, well, little note, like if you're seeing this, or maybe if you're here and you're a developer, please, well, we're welcoming every single person that wants to join BrightID. We're looking for devs constantly, and we're looking for more people to join our work and well, join our vision for the bright future BrightID can bring. So yeah, our Discord, it's open 24/7. Please join us, and we have plenty of people interested in, well, seeing a lot of stuff happening. If you have new ideas for the DAO, please go to our forums, talk about your ideas, and well, if it's interesting somehow to expand BrightID, the DAO will support you. There's a lot of stuff. There's doesn't have to be all development, but yeah.
I would just say, just to echo that, I see some people in the Discord being like, "Oh, I think it should be this. I think it should be that." Great, say it, do it, challenge it, vote for, vote. If the problem is you don't have enough Bright, make a compelling argument, and people that have more Bright will get on board. There's a bunch of people that have more than enough Bright to do these kinds of actions about putting up a proposal or challenging one, and they would love to be convinced by smart, passionate people of actions that they should take. So I don't think that should be a limitation. You know, we put those costs to like sort of as a spam prevention mechanism, not as a mechanism to keep anyone excluded. So if you bring the ideas, you'll if you bring good ideas, someone will provide the financial support. I don't think that will be a problem.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And it's funny that yeah, 500 Bright, I heard someone saying, well, I can't participate. I don't have 500 Bright, so I can't make a proposal. But I'm afraid to lower it because we've already had one spam challenge. Someone basically burned 500 Bright for their own educational experience to figure out that yes, challenging the challenge and adjudication system does actually work. And so yeah, they got to, you know, pay for their own education. So yeah, if we lowered it too much, there'd be a bunch of that. So it's not, I mean, yeah, it is what it is. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, pool together with someone, find a friend that has 500 Bright and make proposals.
Yeah, we'll just throw the idea in the forums, like as Philip said. Like if someone asks will like the idea, just we can throw it out to voting. So yeah, we really want to have more people being involved. That's the whole point of making BrightID a big DAO, so we can achieve this goal together. So yeah, like I don't know if anyone else has any other questions or wants to say something else. If there isn't, we're going to finish this AMA now. So, or if you guys want to wait a little bit to we are going to stop the recording in a couple of seconds if there's no more questions, and we can have a not so, what's the word for it, like, yeah, strict chats.
I have a
So
quick question.
oh cool, thank you, Mark.
So I was involved with the BrightID stuff earlier this summer, but you know, life happens, get busy with stuff. And of course, in the Web3 space, there's a million things going on, and trying to keep track of it all is near impossible. I'm just wondering, other than like the Discord, the Twitter and whatnot, there's not like a calendar I can subscribe to. Is there to know kind of like of events, even like these meetings? I know this one is a, you know, reoccurring meeting, but is there a calendar of other, you know, important events going on with Bright that I could subscribe to? I mean, I live by my calendar.
Yeah, this is the main one. So I did suggest, so Discord has a new feature. So we've got a bunch of people called stars, and we've got a moderator channel and stuff. I would love for more of our community to like take control of the Discord. But anyways, there's something that I noticed. There's a new calendar feature in Discord. Like you can set up an events calendar and people can subscribe to it. And I made the suggestion right when that came out that we should use that. And it's just, right now, it's just silence. So here's me saying again, like, if you are one of the people who's like supposed to be helping out on Discord, like, you know, please set that up. Like, I don't know how well it works because like it's a new feature of Discord and I haven't actually seen it working, but like, I agree with you. It'd be nice to just have our users say, oh, cool. Like, when's the next meeting for this? Okay, cool. Let me subscribe to that and get notifications. So, yeah.
Is it via like a Discord bot, do you know, or is it literally a feature of Discord? I guess I wasn't aware.
It's not a Discord bot. It's a feature of Discord that they
Okay,
just
I
came
didn't
out.
even know that existed.
Yeah, it's brand new, but
Okay.
it's called Discord events. And yeah, so you can say like, okay, here's when our next Chinese connection party is. Here's when our next AMA is. We're having a trivia event tomorrow, which is true. In the OneHive Discord, like you can add a bunch of events and let people subscribe to them. So yeah, just off the top of my head, on Friday tomorrow, what was the time? Someone check for me. But anyways, tomorrow we're having a trivia event with One Hive, which should be really cool. On Monday, we have a launch event in Elk Discord for launching the Elk Bright farm, and also just to explain what BrightID is and explain what Elk is. And so, and then also on, so One Hive Gardens team is launching like the new set up your own gardens tool, and they invited BrightID to come and tell about our BrightDAO experience. So does anyone know the date on that one? Okay, so apparently no one knows dates on things. So let me check the times on those real quick.
So it kind of sounds like a calendar is important.
It sounds
Yeah,
like we need a calendar tool.
yeah, it's like maybe we should have a calendar so that we know when all these things are happening. So yeah, let's see. This one is happening on December 3rd is the Gardens V1 launch. So like where you can make your own garden DAO, like you can make your own thing DAO that's a lot like BrightDAO and join the Gardens community and have your own DAO. So that's December 3rd. And then there's the other two events that I talked about tomorrow and on Monday. And the times for those, yeah, the times for all of those. It'd be good to know the time for tomorrow because that's coming up really fast. Let's see. There was a tweet about it. There was a tweet about it. So let's check Twitter.
They're all coded in time zones that I'm not.
Yeah, so we got to tell you what the time zone is, but okay, so this, like the Elk tweet just says live on Monday, November 22nd. Doesn't say the time. The One Hive trivia tweet this Friday at 7 p.m. UTC. So do your own date math, figure out what it is in your own time zone. But tomorrow at 7 p.m. UTC is BrightDAO coming and hosting a trivia game with One Hive. So if you think, you know, if you've been coming to these AMA calls and you think you're like a BrightID pro, come and collect some of the pot and collect a POAP. Like people have been asking me, like I think I got 3 people asking me just during this call, like, hey, is there a POAP? No. Okay, well, tell me when there's a POAP. And it's like, okay, pay attention to our tweets and you'll see when there's a POAP. And here's one tomorrow. So come there and get a POAP.
There's pretty good rewards for
Yeah.
that trivia game. It is a handsomely rewarded trivia game.
Yeah, exactly. So come to the trivia game.
Yeah, my internet dropped there a little bit, but I heard you mention the trivia game, so I just wanted to plug that as well. That was a proposal that I put through with T Wells from One Hive, and we're co-sponsoring it with One Hive. So you're going to get honey as well as Bright, and normally they do like the top 10, the top 10 by, so when you enter the trivia questions, you get points based on how quickly you answer and if you get the correct answer. And so normally based on your points at the end, you get the top 10 get rewards. But since the reward pool is so large, I think we're going to extend it to the top 20, but it's still going to be a pretty handsome reward. So all you guys are probably well positioned to do well in that game and get a slice of honey as well as Bright.
Can I participate?
I don't see why not. I'm kind of sad that I can't participate because I would slay. but I won last week, so I got a nice little chunk of fox and honey, which was fun. And it's just cool to get together, and you know, the questions are all going to be about BrightID and BrightDAO, and so it'll be informative as much as it is fun, and hopefully just get a little bit more exposure for the project. So come show up and support us, and you know, hopefully win a little bit of Bright and honey along the way.
Cool. Thank you very much for the invitation. Hopefully we're going to see all of you guys tomorrow. Like right now, we don't have more time for questions because we actually need this room in 5 minutes for the Spanish speaking BrightID meeting. So yeah, so well, if anyone has any specific, well, a final thought, just please set it. And if there isn't, I'm going to stop the recording and just finish the AMA. Nothing? No one? No takers? Okay, cool. So
Wag
thank
me,
you.
everybody.
Whack me.
GM,
Yeah.
GM.
So I'm going to stop now recording. Thank you very much for just watching this AMA recording, and we'll see you guys later.